What's going on, everybody, in the Epiko Regal world, the Kaloscope world, and the new people on board? Apparently, with the AMA today from SoCal, a new NFT platform that is coming, and they're going to be going over and talking about this. I hadn't had a chance to listen to this AMA, but I went over some of the notes, and it's pretty interesting what they've got going on. So let's go ahead, let's jump into this and see what they've got to say.
I'm just about to do that.
They're waiting for people to come in right now, so a little bit of a delay. I will be going over be doing some battling in between. And this will be good if you're driving, going down the road, and just listening. Hopefully, you can get something out of this as well. But don't be watching me battle. Don't do it. You might learn my moves. Oh, there's my cat. What's up? Oh, there it goes. Just look at this lazy
Awesome.
bum. Lazy bum.
Okay. Can you hear me, Oliver?
Yes, sir.
Now let's get started as people start rolling in. Welcome, everyone to our so-called spotlight with Kaloscope. We have Kirk with us. We're very excited to have Kirk on to talk about Kaloscope with us. Kaloscope is a project where you can own your own space in the metaverse. Kaloscope spaces are limited edition NFTs that allow you to display your own NFTs that you already have in a digital space. I think we want to hear it coming from a Kaloscope team's voice. Um, However, so we're really excited to get into that today and also discuss how different communities can be spun out of such NFTs and how So-called is helping enable these NFT communities as well. So thank you so much for coming on. We'll give a clap to the Kaloscope guys and Kirk for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, I think Venkatesh is here too,
Okay,
our advisor.
let me just invite to speak. Welcome.
So I just want to jump in here right quick and kind of talk about Venkatesh real fast. He is an advisor for Ecomi. He's an advisor for Kaloscope, I believe, and now he's an advisor for the SoCal guys. Very interesting. This dude has a lot going on, and this is a lot bigger than I think people give him credit for, and everything that's going on. So the Epiko Regal games, I feel like it's going to be really big going forward.
Welcome, Venkatesh. Awesome. Welcome. Glad to have you with us. Maybe we can both start by, both of you speaking, maybe Kirk first, about your background. How did you, what is your background? How did you get into Web3? And, what is Kaloscope's origin story?
Sure. So the way we describe Kaloscope is a social media metaverse, or think of it as, let's say, Ready Player One, that's accessible through your phone. And it's a concept where creators and collectors of the NFT space have a place where they can showcase, project, and interact with their NFTs in augmented, virtual, and extended reality. So the problem that we found is that, you know, back in the days, I think sometime last year, I got into crypto and know about tokenization since I think really early 2014, 2018. And back then, I never really understood it. And around that time, I was the CEO of a small business focused on the hemp and cannabis sector, and we were looking to also somehow integrate crypto onto sustainability in that field. Now, fast forward to today, sometime last year, I got reintroduced to NFTs and the impact of it in people's lives and the utilities that it could provide just by owning something digital. So what I found back then was, people were buying all these assets, maybe from OpenSea or from other projects, but you don't really have a place to keep it, like a home. You know, if you were to buy something from a shop, you have a room to bring it home to, but if you buy something in a virtual plane, you don't really have a place to keep it. So it really stemmed from that, and through the last few months, the project evolved from, you know, merely some sort of like an NFT wallet where you can store and project your NFTs, which evolved eventually into this sort of metaverse concept. And yeah, that's really the bits of origin story and the background about me. So I'm the CEO and founder of Kaloscope. It's um, and we're working towards our first major drop actually at the end of this month. So with Aradina. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. I can give Mr. Venkatesh, our strategic advisor and partner, a chance to speak too.
Right, right, right. Thank you so much for hosting us, Tommy and Oliver. And I thank the so called Spotlight team. And yeah, thank you, Kirk, for being here today. I think that was really nice to hear about Calescope. There's quite a lot on to talk about Calescope because every time I open my Twitter, I see a post of Calescope or it's Kirk or one of his team members putting all the effort to get into the social metaverse space. um, yeah, and let me just tell you about like Epiko Regal. So I'm an innovator in the UK, and I've come up with this cool play to earn game by the name Epiko Regal. uh,
Did you hear that? Play to earn. Baby, let's go. Because I'm telling you, when I first heard of a mobile phone that was play to earn, like, it was not very user friendly. Like, where Epico Regal is, that game blew up. Everybody talked about it. And whenever we get that integrated into the game, it is going to be huge. The people that are going to pour into this game is going to be unreal. So if you're listening to this and you're interested in play to earn games, and if you like tower defense games, right now is a really good time to get in here, start grinding away, get those cards leveled up, because you want to be top tier when that day comes.
Now, Epico Regal is a game that's based on Indian mythology, and there's a huge demand for this space since the year 2021, I would say, where there's a lot of initiatives taken by the government as well to actually bring out the Indian mythology into the mainstream. Now, what we've done with Epico Regal is we have
So that's another really good, interesting point right there, where the Indian government is backing them, is what it sounds like. And they're really going to be pushing that. And Venkatesh has said in the past that he's going to be onboarding a lot of celebrities. So, yeah, get ready.
we have solved the issue of where you buy all these physical toys and then you use up space. So you basically can buy augmented reality collectibles of those toys um, just digitally. So we are just moving all that physical assets digitally, and we started building our game. Now the game is it's basically arena strategy game wherein you have opponents and players choose their deck, and then you need to place cards strategically and destroy the towers of your opponent for you to win a game. Now, as you win a game, there you basically earn trophies. You earn crackers, which you can unlock and get gold and gems and other in-app assets in Epico Regal. Now, it's so the game doesn't just end with the. Sorry, I just dropped off. Yeah. There's just a problem with my connection. Really sorry for that. Yeah, so we have these augmented reality collectibles, and then we have the play to earn game, and we have like cinematic comics all in one application. What we try to solve is that we wanted to have all the physical experience moved into a digital experience, and that's what Epico Regal is all about. Apart from just the game or the entertainment app that we've come up with, we also have our marketplace, which is by the name Epiko.market. And what we intend to do with the marketplace is that we've just done our drop in the last week. So we've come up with our NFTs, and we have dropped them we on on OpenSea. That was the first drop that we did last week, and we intend to have them on our marketplace in the next couple of weeks. So we are looking to have the marketplace officially launched on April 21st, wherein we would have the remaining drops of our assets. And what we intend to do is also create a utility for OMI, who is our partner. And coincidentally, I just dropped off a call with Riz just before the AMA, and we are so we basically are very much excited to do this PR announcement with the partnership with Ecomi, and are looking forward to have a utility for the OMI token. Now, yeah, so that's basically our motto behind growing with Ecomi, and Ecomi is a very
So let me go ahead and stop it right there, right quick. They have their own token integrated, the EPIKO token. It's minted with 300 million, which right now you cannot get it. They're working on a whitelist pretty soon. I'm sure they're going to make it to where you can use that on their marketplace. I'm wondering if they're going to use Ecomi. I wonder what the partnership, how that ties in, and what it's going to look like. It's going to be very interesting if it's like going to be a backing. So let me know in the comments what you think your speculation is on their partnership with Ecomi.
a great project because I've been associated with it right from the start in 2018. And yes, I know that there's a lot of hype for Ecomi and the OMI holders, and basically what OMI would be bringing for in future as a utility for its holders. There's a lot of hype on that, and I'm really happy that David has given me the opportunity to partner with him and bring about the utility for it. Now, our marketplace is a little unique because what we would do is we would have basically OMI on the marketplace with different utilities, not just one utility. Of course, I wouldn't disclose everything in this because I would want to wait for our marketplace to be ready, and we would launch. We would do an AMA with Ecomi in the third week of April, and so we basically are creating our brand Epiko, wherein we have the game, which is more than a game. I would call it an entertainment app because it solves all the physical experience into a digital experience. Apart from that, we have our marketplace, and we also looking forward to having an event in the month of June, in Singapore, where we would demonstrate all our like our the Epico metaverse, and we would even showcase all our assets there. We would showcase our NFTs. We basically want to showcase what exactly the NFT space could bring about as a utility, and not just random NFTs like Bored Apes or We Friends. So there's a lot basically that we are coming up with, and we look forward to conducting our event on June 16th and 17th in Singapore. And yeah, that's pretty much about Epico Regal to give a brief about. Now I would want Tommy or Oliver to like take over from here.
Great. No, thank you for elaborating on your projects that you're working on. And I mean, I would be interested in hearing more from you about how your projects in this respect are adding to Kaloscope spaces. Because I think from Kaloscope, there's a lot of potential that I understand to go take this in many different avenues. And I would be interested to hear about that close relationship between the two projects, and what from Kirk maybe what other potential partnerships are envisioned for Kaloscope.
Yeah, so I think
Sure.
with Kaloscope, just a few lines about Kaloscope again. So we've been watching Kaloscope closely since last year, since we partnered, and they've been very active. They're really pushing hard. I'm really happy that the website's gone live, and they have a huge community already. They basically are right now partnering with quite some big players in the space. Aridina is one that I know of, and they basically have they have the Aridina Hall and a few drops coming up in the upcoming weeks. So they're doing pretty well for even starting off since 3 months, and I look up to Kaloscope to also being a unicorn in future. Just like I can see Ecomi and Veve collectibles since their inception, and I'm really happy to be part of like Kirk's project, Kaloscope. Oops, he just disappeared.
Yeah, I think he
Did I
just.
say something that?
Uh, I hope not.
I think
Yeah,
he
I
yeah,
thought
got
it was
he got
all
rugged.
good things. Yeah,
where did you disappear, Kirk?
He got
Kirk,
rugged.
come back.
Sorry,
Yeah, I'm
I got
really
rug
sorry,
pulled
guys.
out.
I thought that we're going to have a yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'll give it to Kirk from here. So Kirk, you can take it from here. Yeah.
Sure.
So one thing I want to touch on right quick, he was referring to Cal. He's been an advisor with Ecomi since 2018, and what he sees in Kaloscope is the same vision that he had for Veve. And you see how it is now, 3 years later from when he got involved with Ecomi. Kaloscope's on year one with him, and he's seeing that. So this is going to be a huge project. It's going to be massive because they're all tied together. And one thing that Kaloscope is focused on, from what I can tell, is they're making it a showroom metaverse where you can take your NFTs that you've got in your wallet, put it in your showroom. So if you got bored apes, whatever kind of artwork, you can put it on the wall. I'm sure the way everything's looking, you'll be able to take your Veve collectibles and put it in there as well and show it. And then you can have like house parties, art gallery parties, have people show up. And if it was me, I think they're making a token. I would charge people X amount of my tokens to come to these galleries where they would get some, you would get the percentage. And then you got your celebrities and stuff that are hosting this are going to be getting a cut. And that's really going to drive a lot of people in the metaverse to come here and see your showrooms. And then once you start being able to rent out your stuff, like Vivi's been talking, that just opens up a whole new can of worms for everything to grow and evolve to places nobody's ever really thought about before.
Cheers.
So just to tell you guys, Venkatesh has been incredible, and his team. He's our strategic advisor, helping us progress with some incredible content for our community. So I met Venkatesh when we went to present the demo of Kaloscope back in October. It was just like back then, it was just an idea as a concept, but we came up with a demo, and after that, I was with Hello K and our sort of head of engineering, John. We were presenting the demo to the public, and people were interested because they've never heard of NFTs or the metaverse as much back then. You'd be surprised, like being in a crypto event, you'd be expecting that everybody knows about it, but back then, actually, not many people did know. So yeah, like when we were presenting the idea, somebody came up to our stand and said, this project, it reminds me similar of another project called Ecomi or Veve. And is Ecomi or Veve? And then somebody met up with Kay, and then Kay went up to the stand where Venkatesh was. And then I didn't know who Venkatesh was, but Hello Kay was knew about it. So he went up to go and see them. I was waiting back in the stall, and and I think Kay was almost like fangirling on Venkatesh, saying, "Hey, it's the advisor of Ecomi,"
That's
which is a
awesome.
very small thing. And there were like loads of different events back then. So I mean, that's how sort of our relationship started. And I'm from Dubai. We went to have a meeting in his office in London and Canary Wharf, and that's where sort of I showcased the vision of Kaloscope, like the way we kind of see it in a way as you know think of it as a bridge to the virtual world. We have this real world experiences, but like having a portal to a virtual area where you can, that not this virtual space is something that you own exclusively to you, where you can showcase your collection, but then as well allow you to share your experience with your friends or your followers. So like that's really, like, think of it more like Facebook, the next level of that, or almost just a new way to interact digitally. Like, instead of, like, let's say going, on the internet, you're in the internet, and you're learning different from different projects through this experience.
Gotcha. And are the experiences that are going to be possible with Kaloscope Spaces going to be managed by the project itself? Can it be managed by the project itself, or is the project itself going to provide SDKs or APY in order for different projects to build around Kaloscope Spaces? Like, where is Kaloscope's head in regards to that?
So at the moment, the way we work is you can connect your non-custodial wallet onto our platform, and then you can project your NFTs. So the Spaces itself is an NFT, which means you own it and you completely control it. But then, for the time being, just for the early days, we are looking for reputable projects, NFT projects, brands, and some sort of institutions as well. To showcase a different way to to market their brand. So, like, the first Genesis drop that we're doing at the end of this month, called Aradina, for example. Aradina is a medieval metaverse game. They just recently secured a big investment deal with Animoca Brands. The guys who actually created the sandbox. So we like our director of sales and partnerships, Dozer, the Comic Way. He is actually a comic book writer for them, and through that connection, we got introduced to produce, sort of this. Like, I'm just gonna pin it to the top, like a beautiful, exclusive space designed after the Aradina IP. So at the very beginning, it'll start with just partnerships and NFT drops. But then, as we go on in our journey, we're looking to introduce stuff like the Kalos Studio, which will be like an external piece of app, and you can just design your own metaverse and maybe even assets within that metaverse. So we'll open it up to that as we go on later on. But to start with, like, the idea is, there's a lot of NFT projects that maybe don't have the time or the funding, or they're not at the stage yet.
Don't have the time or funding. And that has been one of the biggest pieces of FUD that's been going on with Veve, is how understaffed they are lately. And, they can't get those people in there to do that. And I'm starting to see a lot of dots connect here, and how far this project's, they're really going to be moving. I can see it to where they're like, all right, we'll build your showroom, but you let us use your assets, and then we'll let you use our showroom. And I think that's where a lot of that NFT compatibility is really going to come into play, where you can display that stuff and everybody can show up and walk in, and there could be a bridge that goes from Kaloscope to Epiko Regal, a bridge from Kaloscope to Veve, and they could all be linked in, and you just walk right across to each other's platform.
To launch their own metaverse. So we extend the hand in a way wherein we can provide this metaverse experience for their community who already purchased or already investing on the assets that are there. So a good example, I would say, as well, like, let's say Venkatesh's Epiko Regal. At some point, maybe we will be dropping a virtual space as IP to Epiko, and all the NFTs that you may be able to purchase in OpenSea or through their marketplace, maybe you'll be able to then share it within this exclusive showroom. So just to display your collection, and that, and it's accessible through a mobile app. And yeah, I mean, it starts really just with partnerships, and then eventually we'll open it up to the creative community, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people within our community that would love to just design your own space, and we've seen some amazing designs. So we'd like to expand to that at some point.
Mhm. No, that's super interesting. And I'm
One thing I would love to see in their marketplace right off the rip that kind of drives me nuts about Veve that they haven't done yet, and it's something so simple and easy, and they could make thousands of them and charge hardly, $5, $10, bookshelves, picture frames, shelving, light fixtures, couches. And then it would be awesome if you could like wrap your couch up with like the cover of your comic book, or just put certain colors and designs on it. So I want to see that kind of stuff.
curious to hear from Venkatesh and yourself, Kirk. What sort of, partnerships do you envision, are the best use cases for Caloscope spaces? Like, is that the gaming space, or is Web3 social something that, Caloscope is exploring at the moment? So, uh, I want to hear more about that.
Sure. So at the moment, we're looking at very active communities that already have established fan bases. Because what happens is they launch an NFT project, whether it's PFP, a collectible, or something like that. But then it's going to take them some time to either build the game or build the experience for that community. So we act as that like sort of little mediator, or like an aggregator in a way, wherein the people who purchase their NFTs, at some point you'll be able to then showcase your collection through our thing. Now, the partnerships, we were focusing mostly on the gaming space, but we are also looking at independent artists with a very respectable following. Also, very big on the sustainability space. So we are also working with another project called Sirius Shea, who work closely with the World Economic Forum. So we're looking at like a lot of different angles to see which one would do best. But the main idea here is that every project has a community, and sometimes people within that project would be also interested in other projects. So if you have a platform where you can put them all in one place, you can almost cross pollinate these communities in a way that I can learn more about other communities and other projects. So that's, and slowly Kaloscope is becoming to something like this, wherein it doesn't matter what NFT project you're into or you're passionate about. You may join our community, and then maybe get some certain benefits by participating with us. Um, but yeah, but you'll get to discover other projects as well, that that you can expand, let's say, your collective field.
And
Yeah, and I would
how
also, yeah, Tommy. So,
no,
so
go ahead.
even with
Yeah.
the like with the metaverse that we are creating, so we basically have like a AAA metaverse theme blockchain game, wherein we will have players to choose their avatars after signing up to this game using the wallet. So then we would probably have like each avatar using created by Epiko Regal characters that we have in the game. Now, once the user logs in, then we have like a user journey where the one would be a journey, and then the other one would be basically to explore. So in the journey section, we would have like a gameplay, 4 versus 4 gameplay. Now, the avatar of that particular user, whichever he chooses, would be default, and then he can select additional 3 characters from the game to battle with. And so that would be like a battle in the AAA metaverse, and every time they win, players would unlock gems, XP, gold, Epico tokens, all that, which would be credited back to
There it is, baby. Unlock Epiko tokens for battling. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
their wallet, and that would create a play to a mechanism. And we also would want to have a feature like Explore, so that would be through PC or Oculus, and they can basically explore different ancient monuments and roam around it, and probably have conversations with other people in the metaverse. They could also
So we already know that they're working on Oculus and augmented reality. So that is awesome. There's a lot of really good stuff coming out of this. This is a big, big AME that we've been waiting for.
unlock hidden assets, and when they do that they would earn Epiko tokens from it, and their avatars basically could fly, maybe run, use powers in the metaverse, just to experience the magic of the metaverse probably. And probably, at some point we are looking to have our characters on some of the spaces that are created by Kaloscope, right? So players will be able to mint all these unlocked NFTs that would be in the Kaloscope space or in the Epiko space, because we are partnered with them, and any lands that are basically available in Kaloscope, we could unlock them as well. We could buy them. So there's quite a lot of scope I see in the next 1 year that we are going to build with Caloscope, and it would be seemingly quite interesting for all our users, and the community that we have built around this space.
Gotcha, because you answered actually my follow-up question, which was
Okay.
how are communities going to, how are people owners of these spaces going to gate this space, right? And from what
Right.
I understand is that they have the option to pick how they, who they allow into their space, and they're able to
Mm.
customize this experience.
Yeah, and
Yeah. You can customize this experience. Yeah. Go on, Kirk.
I was going to add on as well. So the other thing we've added on as a feature on Kaloscope is the idea of portals, right? So virtual portals that you can enter within a virtual space. So I'm just going to pin sort of one of them, how it looks like. So in Aradina, for example, the comic book that one of my team members created, the front cover of that comic book looked like a gate entrance to some sort of coliseum or an entrance to some sort of a kingdom. Now, like within this portal, you can then enter this portal, and then it'll then teleport you to this space, which you go to. So, for example, you can have a Aradina portal, and then which will then take you to, I don't know, an Epiko Regal space. So you'll be able to customize the experience of the entrance of your portal as you enter through that. And then obviously as well, the idea is it's almost like when you're trying to send somebody an invite or to participate on, I don't know, so let's say spaces, right? If you want somebody to speak up on something, you send them an invite. So instead of an invite, we're just sending you a portal, and that portal will then allow your friend or your user to come into that space where you can introduce them to. So that's how we kind of gate it in a way, because again, at the end of the day, the most comfortable thing is like people will have several types of spaces. There'll be spaces that is very exclusive to you that you don't want people to know about, and then there's like a public space that you want to show off because you want to either sell them or introduce them to your project or community. And sometimes even for other spaces, maybe you want to have some benefits within our platform. So like we have some concepts like morphing and crafting. Like you can morph NFTs, like two NFTs together to unlock a much rarer variant, just like the post that I pinned up top, like the gold Aradina portal. And you can also craft items. So let's say within your virtual space, you may be able to receive certain resources or upgrade the NFTs that you put within that space, and receive resources depending on the NFTs that you place in it. So one of the concepts we had, for example, was the NF trees. And within this NF tree, if you put this tree, let's say, in your space, maybe you'll be able to receive resources like wood, and the wood you can then convert that into an NFT, which could be a table or a chair or a frame for your 2D images. So
Wow, that's crazy. Kind of answered what I was talking about earlier about buying those NFTs to do that. Instead of buying it, you can do like a staking thing where you put your wood builder down that does all this stuff and then it gets created, then you can sell it. That's awesome.
it's just really the idea that you can customize the space, make it exclusive to you, but then also invite the people closest to you to share your collection. So like the idea is like it's up to the user. It's really as we're trying to make it as decentralized as possible, because at the end of the day, people just want to share their experiences and to make the metaverse more social.
So here's one of the random thoughts that just kind of popped in my head with what he was just talking about, where you can make those invites to get people in there and create your own space. Now, what this can really do is open up a whole new thing for, independent NFT people that got their own project going. Say, whatever, I'm new, I'm going to do this. Okay, that's cool. It's a picture, but what does it do? You could tie your NFT project to your space in Kaloscope where you can come in and make mining, crafting things where, hey, you're investing in NFTs, you can come in here. We're going to make a whole bunch of these things that craft stuff that we can sell in the game. And because you spent the money on our NFT, you're going to get a cut of it. So it's kind of like a weird staking program, if that makes any kind of sense. And it gives you that exclusive space that you can come into for owning that NFT. And this kind of goes back to the art galleries or the metaverse meetups and just have fun and talk to people. And you could really get those connections with people that are very well known in the field. And this is your opportunities to get to talk to them. So this really does open up a lot of things for people to connect, make money, and evolve the whole NFT space. It's pretty crazy.
Instead of just like, not everybody likes to play games, for example. Not everybody's a gamer or have the time to play. But being able to, spend a couple of minutes into a virtual space that's interesting, and you learn more about the project just by walking around and seeing some cool augmented or virtual reality experiences, that will make people more interested to interact with a certain project. So yeah.
Yeah, just make sure that with your morphing, you don't create a new variant, yeah, COVID variant.
Oh, Jesus.
That's true.
Venkatesh.
Oh dear.
We've
Oh.
just got rid of it, so we don't want a new.
Oh, that's good, Bance.
Right, right. So, I just have a query from Squid Cat. How do you plan to leverage the large Indian population for Epiko Regal? Right, right, right. So Epico is creating a brand or a universe for superheroes that basically are from a very old and deep culture. So these heroes are not immediately recognizable in the West, I would say, but they are familiar to a billion people in the East, and from this recognition in the East, we definitely intend to build a huge following, which would make the limited edition of NFTs very sought after, like all the collector items. Just like the very first DC comics and Marvel comics became extremely valuable. So I think even the NFTs would at a later point of time, provided you create a very good utility for them. And when you're talking about the East, you're dealing with billions of people. I would say 70% of the population actually are from the East. So we have a big audience here, and if we are creating superheroes for them, then probably they would be really excited. At a later point of time, we would definitely want to venture into markets like Latin America or Africa or Middle East, which are totally unexplored. But yes, again, coming back to our topic, so these universe of superheroes would be eventually recognizable in the West, though they are not right now. And if we talk about the size of the market, like I mentioned, we are talking about like good X amount of X billions in the West and the East, and most of them are inclined in the East. So we have like good 60% audience for this space that we are venturing into. And like, just like we had the introduction of Marvel and DC into the East, like in India, via movies and animations and cartoons. So I believe that at some point there would be a realization that India has an appetite for this kind of genre, and we would also at some point have movies of all the characters that we are creating, maybe some animation, some comics that we are already working on, some good storylines, and then we would be able to get that kind of recognition.
Okay, let's just stop it right there, right quick. So you talk about Batman, all the X Men, all these big, as he says, the Western superheroes that everybody knows. And he said that they are working on movies for these to be the superheroes for the Eastern culture. And they're going to be making movies. Now, think back to like having the very first of Batman and Marvel and just all those guys, the first NFT digital collectible. That's where we're at right now with this, and him bringing these on this platform. And if this goes to where he thinks it's going to go, I know, Kat, I know. I'm excited too. Oh, Chazzerbud here, she's excited. So, but where this could go is incredible. This is kind of like the ground zero for all this stuff, and where this can just blow up and could be worth some money getting these first NFTs. So I just want to throw that out there.
Recognition in the West as well. So yes, it would be it's not going to be right away, but yes, down the line, eventually, in let's say like couple of years, we expect to leverage on the Indian audience. And just to tell you, it's not only Indian audience is not present only in the East; they are present in the West as well. And I remember my friend basically from the Middle East saying that an Indian is under every unturned stone, or they're probably present like potatoes worldwide. So we are dealing with quite a large audience, and so yeah, I believe that at some point of time we would get that kind of recognition for these superheroes and universe that we are creating.
On merit alone, I would imagine. I think, we always talk about representation in various industries and also in Web3, how there's a lack of that we're working on. I think on merit alone, a lot of the
There is definitely a lack of that. I've said it for years. I'm tired of hearing about Spider Man and Batman and just all the same stuff that's been around for 70 years. It's time for something new. I'm super excited for this.
stories that we have from the East will make their way into to larger audiences, through Web3 technologies. And Kaloscope and the Economy are doing loads of work in this respect, and I want to sort of understand where, from a community building standpoint, where have you both struggled and where do you see community building going with your projects?
I would say that we weren't much into community building until we met Kirk, and I will definitely say that Kirk and Kay basically played a lot of they played a vital role in helping us build our community and in making initiatives. We did support them with wherever we could, and we basically leveraged on our strengths and weaknesses, I would say. And yeah, for the community part, definitely I would give it to Kirk, because he helped us along with Kay, conducting Twitter Spaces. I was more of a LinkedIn person. Now I'm no more on LinkedIn. I'm totally on Twitter because of Kirk again. So yeah, it was a challenge, but then we if you have like-minded people, and with the same with a good intention to help grow collectively, and you find the right partners, then definitely you can grow with your community. Again, we have our big partner Ecomi, who's also partnering with us, so obviously we can leverage on their community as well. I still remember the tweet that I did in the third week of Jan, and it went viral, and I started receiving a lot of messages. and I became a small time influencer on like overnight. So it was a bit of a challenge, but then yes, we have done quite a great job. Sometimes even we wonder as to how we actually build this community in just like 3 months. But yes, if you have good partners and like-minded people with the same vision, then it's very much possible. Maybe it's because me and Kirk are from similar turf in the east, so we sync well, might be. And then we have New Zealand and David. So so it's been a journey, and it's really nice, and we look forward to having like a community of at least 1 billion. So yeah,
Well, they will take over the world at some point, Venkatesh.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, man.
For us, really, it started off with it started off really with just a clear vision that people need to have a space that they can own exclusively and to share their collection. It really started with that. And like it took me a couple of months to just clarify this concept. But then I then started pitching this idea to different people, different mentors, and eventually, like through that feedback, people started to listen, and people started to think that maybe, we need a platform similar to Kaloscope, or it was, we're trying to build. In my perspective, really, because I collected some NFTs early on. I remember I was even Oliver, like I was telling Oliver back then to do NFTs, and he didn't believe me.
No,
And
he's the man.
you
He's
know,
the man.
and
He's the man that got me hooked. You're the one that got me hooked into
That's
NFTs. If it wasn't
hilarious.
for this guy, I literally wouldn't have gone into it. And it's funny because he told me about them back in, I think it was like June or something, and I was like, ah, yeah, cool, whatever. Like that was my initial reaction. Looked at it and was like, yeah, that looks kind of cool. And then, yeah, it wasn't until I think October time that he told me again about Veve, and then that's what kind of got me hooked in. And then ever since then, it was just down the rabbit hole, and that was that.
So, Kirk, you're responsible for his degen behavior. I'm gonna
Yeah,
hold you directly responsible for that.
pretty much, yeah.
well, pretty much majority of the community at this point, because like we're gonna be showcasing some very cool partnerships, and then they're gonna be diving in which one's the partner and which one's to collect. But at the end of the day, like collecting is, I believe it's like a very innate human nature. Like back, even during the caveman days, let's say, you know, people used to collect things like stones and stones or accessories in the forests. Like this is like an innate trait for human beings. We love to collect, whether it's clothing,
I still
shoes,
remember this device called Tamaguchi. I don't know
Tamagotchi.
if you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's it was
Vintage.
really an amazing a device where you get a pet and then you grow the pet by feeding it, playing with it, and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yes.
mean it's like it's the whole experience, really, like taking
Yeah.
your real world experience and putting it online. Yeah, and not
Right.
everybody can own a home, for example, right? Not everyone can afford it. But if I can own a virtual property and I can store my assets inside there, it's almost like a nice replacement, especially as millennials who've grown up with the internet. Uh, and I'm pretty sure for the next generation as well, who are going to be getting into this VR, augmented reality experiences, maybe one day you won't be able to distinction which one's real, which it isn't, right?
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
showed in Ready Player One, the guy just jumps off the window and yeah.
Well, hopefully less of that. But I mean, what you're talking about, it brings a whole new meaning to what, meetings might be like in the future. But also, I feel like Telescope Spaces has this potential to be the visceral center of so many diverse communities. And So-call's very interested in these various types of communities as a Web3 social application, fostering that is a catch-all tool for DAOs. So I can imagine a lot of communities using so-call, for instance, to coordinate, their engagement with spaces and different spaces, and trying to organize different things in relation to a space. For example, I can imagine, like for example, a D&D club, Dungeons and Dragons club. They usually get together on like a Skype call and they start talking about the stories and going through the game. But this could take a whole new meaning with a space that they could enter and play out their game, in a virtual experience.
Yeah, and also creating guilds. Like
Yeah,
we've already been people asking us, like, can I create a space for my guild? And eventually they have a guild specifically for this specific game.
gotcha.
So the potential is not just about building a community and having a space where your community can contribute to the assets within it,
Mhm.
but also having the option of personalization, because Web3 in the metaverse, it's giving us the opportunity to create our own identity online. And the fact that you can own a piece of the internet and you can prove it through the blockchain, it's the opportunity that I guess that's still very early on. But when people realize it, I think it's going to be, I think most people agree it's going to be quite world changing.
Mhm. Um, Definitely. I think we can all agree on that. And before we open the floor to the audience for questions, and you can ask Kirk and Venkatesh anything you want. Would you guys want to announce any future coming drops, upcoming events?
Sure, sure. For us, we're doing actually a Decentraland hoodie giveaway. I'm just going to pin it to the top. So if there's anyone who is interested on Kaloscope and all the stuff that we're working on, we here our CMO has created like these amazing hoodies that we're looking to you could use in the central land. But then at some point, maybe there's utility as well within Kaloscope as well, just by owning a Decentraland hoodie. We also have diamond and gold passes, which are limited passes that we um, gave away at the beginning to our community and then sold. But now you can also redeem some benefits to it too, where for our Aradina drop at the end of the month, you'll be able to get early access to the drop before the public. And on top of that as well, be invited to an exclusive um, members group within our Discord. So yeah, I mean that's really the updates that we've got. But Venkatesh, do you have any
Yeah,
announcements?
so we basically have quite some updates. So we are introducing some new levels, new stadiums. It's just the demand of the community because I mean those who are on the top of the leaderboard, they basically are looking for something more from the game because not really. Do we have that many players who play real time? Because most of them end up connecting to the bot, I suppose. It's just that if there's someone on Discord, it's really nice for them to actually interact on Discord and then send invites and connect. But I see that the kingdoms are growing. We have many kingdoms interacting and conducting friendly battles. But yes, that's the reason why we are doing a few levels and new stadiums in the next build that we are releasing. We do have some card distributions in the journey map, and we are also launching some new AI decks because we don't want the AI to be playing the same way and in a monotonous manner. That actually bores the players in the game. We are also coming up with a new concept to replace our crackers. We have kingdom ranking, which is again a new mechanism based on weightage of that kingdom. Um, we have again introducing new rarity of heroes. Here is where basically we will have like Indian celebrities launched, and probably if David you agrees, then I will have him as a character. I hope he doesn't get mad at me for saying this, but then I'm still very much interested in launching his character because I definitely cannot afford Marvel like him. Yeah, and we'll have a new code redeem feature again, because I see the challenges that other applications out there have for integrating a token into their application, and I don't want to get into that mess. So I we probably will have our NFTs listed on our marketplace, and those who buy our NFTs, they would have like a redeem code, and with that they would be able to unlock AR collectibles, the hero rarity cards, probably David Yu, gold, gems, and comic chapter. So we have this redeem feature. Then we have the reset, which we recently did. That's again based on the community, and the last one I would say is the new AR experience that we are bringing into the game, where we will have our portal. Again, this is an inspiration from Vivi, where they had their portal, and so we worked on that with them, and we would have like an AR portal into the Epiko universe, where we would have our planets and place all our AR collectibles, and then that flow would be a little more interactive. So that's quite a lot of updates that we have upcoming. And yeah, we have these announcements with Ecomi, and then the Indian production houses. So it's going to be an exciting quarter for us. Yeah.
Hopefully for all of us too, but that is a lot of updates, and I think
We,
everyone here should go follow Epiko Regal, and Kaloscope NFT for these updates, and to stay posted in their community as well for what's to come. But
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
yeah, did I cut you off? Sorry.
No, 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 no. Go on, go on.
All good.
Yeah.
I think we can open up the floor now to the audience. So if anyone has any questions for Venkatesh or Kirk about Epico Regal.
Yeah, I do. I want to see David Yu in there destroying everybody, and that's going to be freaking awesome and epic. And David Yu, you better let it happen, man. Come on now. We need this.
Or a Kaloscope NFT, you can ask them now. Just raise your hand. You can come up. It's no biggie. Um, let's see.
Maybe
Where's
we could
everyone
answer
located,
all.
by the way?
Maybe
Tell me,
we could
where are you
answer all
based?
their queries.
I'm actually based in London, so very close to
Okay.
Venkatesh. Yeah,
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
you're all in London then.
Okay.
I'm in the
literally.
Philippines at the moment. So
Oh, okay.
it's like two,
You
two or
guys
three in
can
the
come
morning right
down to
now.
our office in Canary Wharf at your availability, like, and we could catch up as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be chill to
Yeah.
Kirk, when you
continue this.
back from
So that pretty much wraps it up. They said they got kicked out a little early. Something happened there. I'm not sure what really went down, but let's just unpack some of this. Kind of what That's a whole lot of stuff in this AMA that just happened. Incredible. I am definitely looking forward to the future updates that we got. But in the Discord, we have Smells Fun in the Epical Regal Discord, that is. This dude does a great job after every AMA kind of breaking down the key points and talking about it. So here are the notes in ER. Not much new information on Kaloscope, AMA with SoCal, and Kaloscope April 4th. Epico Regal is an entertainment app, not just a game. I agree. The Indian government incentivizes businesses to promote the Indian culture and mythology. So that is really awesome. That is huge right there. Because now they're going to get that financial backing to really take this to the next level to, get their culture out there for everybody in the world. So that is awesome. ER wants to leverage the Indian market with heroes based on local mythology, billions of people. So that's kind of like what I was talking about earlier, where we're going to get, you know, new heroes that could become household names, and you're getting in early with these NFTs in this game when that day comes. So that is the way to go. We need to get these NFTs, and which I'll pop them up here in a minute, and I'll have links in the description on how to get them as well. Seeing a growing demand for this space and the hero NFTs. In the next few years, branch out with other mediums with these characters, animations, and movies are developing storylines. So they've got a whole lot in the pipeline going on with this, and it's going to be awesome to see this evolve. Epico Market launch April 21st. Ecomi, more hints towards Omi utility, which that's what I'm talking about because we already know Ecomi has a super huge following. And whenever that word gets out there and how it's going to be tied to Kaloscope, So-col, and Epiko Regal, it's just going to grow to higher levels than we could even imagine, I believe. In contact with Team Reese, Venkatesh has been associated with Ecomi since 2018, which that's awesome because really until their announcement, I didn't even know that was a thing. So he's been behind the scenes with Ecomi and Kaloscope, and he's kind of like the Don, he's sitting back kind of watching everything, helping lead the way. So Venkatesh, you the man, baby. So Omi will have multiple utilities in the ER market. So we already kind of seen that in the IMX where you can buy stuff in Omi on there right now. So it's everybody that's out there flooding Omi, Ecomi, Veve, man, and this is the way I break it down, all right? Veve come out the gate just in a full sprint for a year, right? There was nobody else. They were racing nobody, just running. Well, they finally hit their wall, and now they're stepping back, getting their breath. Well, now you got all these new shiny projects like HRO and Recur and all this stuff that is just full sprint, and they might be passing Veve right now, but once they hit their wall, that's it. Veve's off, blast off with the rocket strapped to their butt, and that's it to the moon, boys. So I don't know what to tell you. At least if everything goes like I think it's going to. June event in Singapore, the 16th and 17th, showcase Ecomi Metaverse, ? And showcase all Epiko Regal NFTs and utility. So definitely put that in your calendar. That might be when that rocket ship gets tied on, because every time Venkatesh talks in the Discord, he's always talking about meeting up with David Yu here, meeting up with David Yu there. There's a lot going on, guys. I'm telling you, there is a whole lot going on that we don't even think about. We don't even know. So be prepared for what's to come. So on Kaloscope's Twitter page, thank you everyone for joining the space. Unfortunately, the space was cut short because we will have more updates for everyone through the week. So some more good stuff coming our way. It's going to be interesting to see why they got cut off and what got left out. Let's go ahead and jump in the Epiko Regal cards. Here are the ones that you can currently buy starting at 0.05 ETH, 0.06, 0.08, and 0.07. So be sure to get these because these might be the Babe Ruth rookie cards moving forward, especially if they get their superheroes and their movies and comics going. These could be worth a lot of money in the future. Now, up next, the Diamond Pass from Kaloscope. You can get these bad boys right now. The floor price on one is 0.270, sitting at right at $950, and I believe the next one goes up to like $3.5. So this is the cheapest you can get right now. If you're wanting to get in there, you might want. I mean, I got to think of some way I can get the scratch to get one of these. I want one bad, and it ends the 9th. The Gold Pass is sitting at 0.09 ETH for $315. Now, each one of these comes with different perks affiliated with the app that they're working on. The Metaverse, I think it includes whitelistings for whenever they get their coin. A lot going on. So the So-col, this is kind of their website and what they've got going on here. So you can get collectibles. Use social collectibles to become part of your favorite creators community. So I'm not really too sure how all this is going to work, but it's going to be kind of like a premium pass. I definitely would love for somebody from Kaloscope. Maybe we can get Venkatesh on here and these guys from So-col. And let's get a list going in the community. Be sure to put in the comments, what would you like to hear from either one of these guys? I would love to get somebody on here and let's do an AMA where it's just us individuals and let's grill them. Let's see what we can get out of them. Let's squeeze them, Maybe we can get some stuff they haven't covered, and it would definitely be awesome to see where this goes. So there's a lot happening, kind of the way I see it, evolving around Venkatesh and this guy, because he has got his hand in everything. And you really haven't heard about this guy until, for me at least, till like he said, January. So what other kind of stuff is he in that he's not talking about? But anyway, this is a quick little video on the AMA, my thoughts on it, where I can see a lot of this stuff going. And, you know, be sure to get in the game. Omi 24/7's filling up. We're almost full. Jump in there. I'm starting to raise the trophy tier, starting to kick some inactive people out. We would love to have you on board. Be sure to join the Discord. I'll put the Discords for all these guys in there. And if you're not really ever used Discord, you've got to check it out because this is the best way that you can ever get in contact with the dev team, the CEOs and stuff like that. Get in there and ask questions and they'll jump in there and answer it. Because back in the past, if you ever had a problem or issue with any kind of project or game or something you were involved in, it was just SOL. You'd send an email and never hear nothing else. So Discord is definitely evolving, the future, the way everything communication wise is done. So you got to check it out. Jump in the Discord and be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you like the most about this AMA. And until next time, we'll holla.